How you guys doing? In this video, I'm going to show you 8 great plays you can play tomorrow and into this week. Not only that, I'm going to show you the technical analysis behind why I chose what I chose and show you 8 great picks you've probably never even heard of, and it's going to be a really good opportunity for you to learn something new. With that being said, let's get into it. Welcome back. Today is February 27th. Glad to have you here. It's a fantastic day, nice and rainy. I want to get in some great stock picking today. I'm not only going to show you value plays, but also momentum plays and some great opportunities to enter, exit, all these kinds of great things this week and make some easy money. If you watch this video to its conclusion, I am almost positive you're going to become 1% better at trading, if not more, in over a year and some more time. That's fantastic. I have 8 great plays for you I want to talk about today, some really good technical setups. The fundamentals, go look into that as well. Of course, on this channel, unlike a lot, we always push for risk management, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, mental analysis for sure. On top of that, we like to look at macro markets, have a trading plan, be really good with our goal setting, and of course be consistent. Those 8 things lead to me being a better trader, and in this video I'll show you those as well. With that being said, 8 great plays. This is about the bulls. Let's get into it. So first is AMBC. What we're looking at here is a really beautiful support play. If I zoom out far enough, you can see clearly that we do in fact have nice higher lows across the board. I mean, it's only 2 solid hits, 3 it's getting close to. I bring up it only being 3 hits because a really good trend line. Anything, you know, like for you idiots doing it or me idiots doing it, you could always draw a trend line from A to B. But to A, B, C, D, and beyond, it's much better. And I think AMBC has 2 solid hits, so I'm not rushing in because of that. What I really like is a support play. Look at this gap's off it, this resistance is off it, great support, was a resistance. Go back even farther in history, we can see it was a strong support here. And even farther back, plenty of action bounce off this area as well. AMBC at this spot makes a whole lot of sense. Earnings overreaction as well, massive sell-off. It's showing some life here. It takes time to reverse usually, it takes a few days, right, as we can see. So I'm not rushing in here. Lastly, there was a gap up here. Ladies and gentlemen, with stocks, just like in real life, these gaps do like to be filled. And so with that being said, any time frame here, we can see almost any gap here, it gets filled. This gap here gets filled. Every single time frame, almost every stock, eventually gaps will get filled, giving us a nice target about 1550 here for a small move. Nice 18% for a swing trade. Obvious earnings overreaction. Overall, I do love what I see. Let's check the indicators. What's so cool about this channel with their indicators is that we don't use them for our cake. That's the technical analysis. These indicators are just going to be the icing. Yum, yum, yum. Interesting enough, indicators show you 4 things: trend, momentum, volume, and volatility. With that being said, I'll show you what I see with these EMA lines, stochastic, vortex, and of course our RSI as well. I forgot for a second there. Let's check it out together. You'll see what I see. So first thing is our EMA lines. The 10 is the blue one, the purple is the 50, and the red's the 200. Can you play a crossover? Probably not. I mean, this is not a great momentum play. Over the 10, you have great moves. Over the 50, even better moves. All 3 are way too far away, given our risk versus reward here of, like, you know, easily risking only 2% to make about hopefully 10 or 11 here. I don't want to wait for a crossover. If anything, it shows me value. Again, just to clarify, there's 2 main ways a beginner can enter a trade. Value, like you go to Walmart and go, wow, what a great price. That applies to stocks. That's the most well-known one, buy low, sell high. The second being momentum. For me, momentum trade means the vortex crosses, the stochastic crosses, or the price crosses an EMA line. All 3 are fine. This play doesn't have that. This is a value entry. What we can see with our indicators, RSI low at 23, 24, a great value. Stochastic, it's low. You do want closer to negative 80, negative 90 or so. It's coming down still. No point rushing in, right? And then vortex is very low, bottoming out. Bears are all the way at the top. AMBC has a much higher chance of reversing in this area than not, but rushing in here doesn't make much sense at all either. I want to give it a day or 2 at least. Tuesday, Wednesday, see how it's doing. But overall, AMBC is a great pick for this week. I do love what I see. Next is CHX. What's great about this play, again, it's a nice support play. You know, we're going to lose out on some form of convergence or a lot of really good technical factors coming together, like a trend up and all that kind of stuff, but we do have a great support play. It is important to note this is a descending triangle so far with lower highs and of course around the same exact lows here. So if we do see it pull back to 20, that's the optimal entry price, is anywhere down there. But of course, if it does break down, it's an easy short, but I think right here, it's a really good value. If we can get a crossover the resistance trend line eventually, we're really going to see some money. But again, a great risk versus reward. The POC here is our strongest support and resistance on this time frame. If you want to learn more about that, check out my volume profile video. But overall, earnings overreaction, holding well. I love what I see. When it comes to our indicators, a 10 cross is fine. We cross the 10, it looks really good, and it keeps pushing up. If you cross the 50, even better. So you want to wait for tomorrow. Let's say we get one more green boy like this, and then we kind of hold over the 10 really well here. We should be good to go as my cat tries to get into the room. I got to lock him out for a second here. Next is RSI. It's fair. It makes sense. We're consolidating. We're going sideways, right? Stochastic's a bit high. It did have a bullish divergence forming, which is great to see, right? That's a great bullish divergence. And now we're kind of steadying out. Negative 40 makes sense. But look at the vortex. It's about to cross green. So could you wait for value? You very well could towards $20. Or you can wait for the momentum cross here. I think momentum, if you want to play it sooner, makes a lot more sense. Seeing as the vortex is going from green, from red to green, that cross is great. And of course, we have the EMA cross on the 10. But I think it comes down to either wanting to wait for value, which may never come again, or it's right here, or an EMA crossover with that vortex crossing. Overall, CHX, I do love what I see. I would definitely watch list it. Try not to burp. Next is comp. It's a fantastic wedge down. Now the wedge that I was watching recently broke out. I was actually talking about WIMI, or sorry, comp. WIMI is another great one. Comp over here for a great support play. It broke out. What's important to note though with this support play, it's holding up well, but if I zoom out, you're gonna see my price targets for one, but two, it's also a newer IPO. And so like I don't think this is the best support of all time. It IPO'd higher, then immediately collapsed down, but it is showing some life here, right? This is where the volume is at the bottom. Look at, or again, earnings overreaction. It wanted to fill this gap. We may see one here. We got plenty of gaps that get filled all the time. There's plenty up here that I want to see filled again. COMP here is a nice retest play. The wedge down broke out. We tested it. We're coming up. First pullback showing some life here. Can risk 4 or 5% to make about 20 just to hit the POC, which is again gravitational and where all price wants to go to. So that's a really good sign. Reg retest here. Look, if we break down further and we go back down the trend line, another great entry. It comes down to preference, but COMP here does make a whole lot of sense. When it comes to our EMA crossovers or showing us value, you know, the 10 cross is good for day trades and short-term swings, right? It's a newer IPO, so when you get these kind of moves, it's lasting 2, maybe 3 days at most, but you have really nice 10 EMA crossover run-ups, right? So if we do see that tomorrow, can easily run it up to the 50, if not more. Easy 5 or 6% could be made. 50 crosses even better, right? You get over the 50, have some nice moves. So you want to wait for that? You certainly can. For me, I want to see value, which is probably near 730 or 720. You know, RSI, it's there. Stochastic, it's fair, but showing life, which does lead me to think momentum makes sense. And then bulls are lower than bears, and bulls are showing some life. If COMP falls, you know, like 30, 40 cents, it's a great value, right? But if COMP goes up 30, 40 cents, it's a great momentum play. What's the common denominator? Patience. So I think with COMP here, I like what I see. I would give it a day. I want to see where it wants to go. If it shows some good movement morning or so, I love it. If I want to wait for later, I would do that. But overall, COMP, I'd watch list it. I do love what I see. Next is SCESI Element Solutions. Great trend up. Again, 1, 2, 3 solid hits. Okay, and that coexists well with our resistance trend having 3 solid hits. And what's this? A nice breakout. So of course, you go from the top of the play, you could have probably come over here and seen, yeah, it's definitely breaking out as well. But a very consistent resistance trend here, showing life, higher high, right, higher low. And it's a great breakout play. It's already showing some life here. ESI will be harder for a beginner with risk management because this could just be a horizontal channel play, which again at 20 being the bottom here and 25 being the top, you know, maybe it's just going sideways here and it's a not again breakout at all. But for the wedge it's forming, it's showing nice life here. Can easily see 4 or 5% for a nice move up. I love what I see. Earnings again, overreacted, came down, big move up. If you do the extra due diligence and ESI has trash fundamentals, this could be an easy short as well if it does collapse on us. But I love what I see for a breakout. When it comes to our indicators, as long as we're over the 10 EMA line, you could definitely ride that momentum just fine all the way up until you lose that. As you can see, every time you lose the 10 EMA line towards the top, that's usually your first sign of weakness. So as long as we have that in our corner, we're good to go. You just had a golden cross with a 50 over the 200, also great for momentum. RSI is not a good deal. It makes sense. We're high. Stochastic again, not a good deal. We're high. That makes sense. And then bulls just crossed over. Instead of buying into value like that Walmart solution, like, oh, this is a nice deal at Walmart, I'll buy this. It's a momentum play. Ride this bad boy out until you lose the 10, the 50, the 200 EMA line, whatever you think is best. This bad boy's on a nice run right now. So overall, ESI, I'd watch list it. I do love what I see. Next is GSV, another nice wedge down. A lot of what I said about ESI applies here as well, right? Great trend down. 1, 2, 3, 4 solid hits, consistent. The resistance trend, 1, 2, 3 solid hits, also very consistent. And this support's holding up beautifully. If we zoom out again, we see GSV has had better days, but what's this? Previous price action bouncing out the support area consistently. So it's a well-known support spot. 37 cents at the bottom, 41 top. It's going to be very volatile if you buy a lot of shares. Would I buy here? No, not myself. I think this is either going to break out, and over the breakout, you can go long. Maybe the indicators show us something, but I want this closer to 37 cents. Hopefully this pulls back again to 37.9, 39, anywhere in here. Becomes a very good support, but a nice wedge down. POC wants to pull us higher, really good breakout potential. It could break down, of course, like all plays. That's why we have risk management as our foundation. But GSV here, making a nice support. I do love what I see. When it comes to the indicators, look, you got the 50 cross. That's nice, and 10 cross. That's beautiful right there. And every time you cross the 10 and the 50, you get some nice movement up, especially over the 50. That's what you want to see. Great 50 runs and 10 runs. So you could definitely buy into momentum. Let's say tomorrow, get a little baby green boy like this, right? You can use the 10 line, which would be like this, or the 50 line, which would be like this. Use either one of these for your stop loss area with this bad boy run, and really manage some risk here, risking 2 or 3% for a breakout. And if you do get over the 200 EMA line, you're going to have a good time day traders if we train this bad boy. I love what I see. When it comes to our indicators further, it's a little bit overbought. It's a fair price, and again, bulls are a bit high, bears are a bit low, which makes sense. It's a momentum purchase. You can still manage risk with a momentum trade. A 10 EMA cross under, a proper stop loss, take profits, all that works well. But to me, GSV makes a whole lot of sense here. I definitely watch list it. If it makes a nice big move up, I will not be surprised or upset. I like what I see. Next is PARR. Oh man, I wish PARR, I actually called a short over here, went great. I hope PARR does in fact come down to like 13. That's the ideal spot. Right? I don't want to risk more than 3 or 4% per trade in this kind of market. But this bad boy does come down just a bit more. It's going to be fantastic. Sure, there's a nice little gap here that wants to get filled. Another gap here that wants to get filled. And just to show you my thesis, this gap gets filled. This gap gets filled. Every single gap you go back in time on this time frame has been filled at one point or another. So with a proper time horizon of 2-3 weeks, this should have no issue getting 7-8% easy. But I do want to manage risk though, because this does fall down. You can see there are some gaps lower that may want to get filled as well, right? Even this one over here has not been filled yet. It can go either way. But overall, very easy support spot. I want it below 13. If I get that, I will be entering PARR for sure. I love what I see. Let's check our indicators together. Again, a 10 cross, 50 cross are too far away. I'm not waiting for that. It shows that we have a good value. Again, value shown because RSI is low. Stochastic is low. I don't really see a divergence or anything. It's fine. And then bulls are low, bears are high. I think PARR has a good 50 to 80 cent drop left in it. I hope we see it tomorrow. If PARR goes below 13 and holds that support, man, it's probably my favorite play of the day for the simplicity of it all. It's been very consistent, this bad boy prints. PARR, I'd watch list it. I definitely love what I see. Next is TSM. I was playing TSM with my homie Javier on Twitter. What's up, Javier? He's not here. But this is a really great support we were watching together. It took off. It did its thing. It got way too big for its britches, and now it's come back down. I don't love this break, but I think that's a massive overreaction from this huge sell-off, and it's holding beautifully. Anything below 110, 109 is a fantastic value if it holds in this area. Risk 1-2% at most to make at least 3, hopefully closer to 8 or 9%. You're not going to be writing home to your mom or your dad or your friends like, I YOLO'd in a TSM and made 4%. It's not that kind of play. But this is a really good low risk, high reward kind of setup. We have our POC, it's gravitational. Again, no trend up, which is a theme of the day. Keep that in consideration where the market is. It's been pretty sideways, obviously. And so TSM here, I love what I see. It's a very good horizontal play. For a 10 cross, it's right there. Look at the 10's been a good resistance. So if you cross over that, it should be a good support, which is furthered by these nice run-ups. See the 10 crosses here? Absolutely beautiful. Looking really good here. I love what I see. If you get 10 cross tomorrow, it breaks this resistance, breaks the 10, does one of these bad boys. The 10 probably looks something like this then. You can go long, use like the 110, 111 range for your stop loss and be just fine. RSI, good value. Stochastic, it's a bit high, and that's okay. I'm not really worried about that or, worrying too much. You could see a possible bullish divergence forming. I use the word possible because it's close, but it's not really there. It's fine. And again, there's no bearish divergence. It's all good. And then bulls are low, bears are high. TSM does take 1 week, 2 week to reverse, so I don't think rushing in here makes any sense, especially after earnings, overreaction, and coming back down to earth, and earnings probably coming soon. So I would definitely give it a day or two. But if TSM does hold this beautiful looking support spot, it's a no-brainer. I do love what I see. And lastly is WIMI, a really good looking hologram cloud company, a great wedge down. 3 solid, 4 solid hits, solid hit, solid hit, solid hit, and good resistance, even better supporting trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, very solid. All right, WIMI here is showing some life, right? Big move, first pullback. If this does get a higher high and breaks out, bad boys off to the races. It could be a fake out, but it should be a great sign. If it does break down at 240 or 230, it's a great value. So again, a nice wedge down. POC being gravitational. Anything down here, you have to have patience. We're in the middle of the decision for our entry. Value or momentum. This crosses 260, 270 and keeps going. Momentum it can be bought into and be fine. Value is closer to 230, 240. Again, the equal denominator is patience, my dear Padawan. So anywhere down here is fine. Let's check our indicators. Look at, you got the 10 cross. You get a 10 cross, what happens historically? Good day trading and short-term swing opportunities, making easy 30% moves. Right here, a nice 10% move. You cross the 10 tomorrow with confidence, you're going to have a good time. Cross the 50, my boy, you're having a glorious time over the 50. You get the 200, it's a wrap, best trade of the year territory for sure. So the 10 and 50 both can be played for momentum. Value, though, is definitely shown towards 230, 240, right? We're even, a little bit overbought, and bulls just crossed over. So again, we have momentum on our side. You have the email lines, whatever you choose to use, on your side. If we cross the resistance trend or any of those email lines, off the races, short-term swing day trading can be had with WIMI. I love it. I would watch this. I like what I see. There you guys have it. I appreciate y'all sticking through the whole episode. It means the world to me. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I love all the kind of good stuff. Have a good rest of your guys' week. Hopefully March is better than February. But either way, you being here means the world to me. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.